Give us a few examples of what that would look like. So
Mm.
I suppose we've got the either or the compliance with high performance kind of thinking behaviors, or actually this is eroding or undermining our performance, that low performance. I'm going to just describe those as
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, are you talking about here dynamics in the team that everybody is responsible for, accountable for, and might bear consequences if it's not there, of shifting each other, calling each other out, encouraging and praising behaviors that amplify that? Are these things like behavioral norms and psychological safety, the bonds between people that allow people to perform?
Good question. I think that's the top of Everest. I think when you've got, certainly if we're talking about players, because we obviously have coaches striving to hold players accountable for certain things, but when you get players holding each other accountable, then you're talking the top of Everest. But where does that start? It's very difficult for players to hold each other accountable uh, uh, in any other way than a sort of a surface level, having a little bit of a dig at each other, or from time to time, a little bit of a come on, guys, come on, let's get this right type thing. The kind of maybe cheerleading support that you might see from a basic perspective. Now, if we start to create a language there, just starting with HPM, LPM, that can be related to behaviors, which I'll come on to in a second, which you've posed. Absolutely. Now, if you can start to, even if you just break it down to a small group of players and just those, it might be 4 or 5 in a team. If they're holding each other accountable, then that's 4 or 5 players in the team. If they've got a language, if you just got a pod of players, if you like, and within that pod, some pairs of players that hold each other accountable, peer-to-peer learning, if you like, from that perspective, wow. Now we can start to make a difference. Now, in terms of what that looks like, it could be broad, but if I was to break it down this way, and let me throw a hypothesis at you, that let's say we're in a room, you and I, and we're addressing a team of players, and you've got the coaching staff and you've got the support staff, and we put up on our PowerPoint HPM and LPM, and we talk about, okay, we're going to have HPM and LPM, but this is a framework. We're not going to define what that looks like. We're going to leave you to define what that looks like, but we're going to prompt you. We're going to give you, we're going to give you some borders and boundaries here. This is where I love. We talk in psychology all the time about values, and values are wonderful and marvelous and fantastic. And values-driven organizations can be extraordinarily powerful. And you on your show have had brilliant people who've talked about the power of values-driven cultures. I am interested as well in action-oriented words, Steve. I'm interested in those behaviors that you speak about. And because I suppose I'm a consultant that's very interested in starting on the pitch, the court, the course, the track, and broadening things out from there. So I just wonder, if you and I are standing in front of a group of players, support and coaching staff, and we put up on a wall a whole bunch of action-oriented words, adjectives, if you like, energy, relentless, dominant, strong, relaxed, focused, calm, joyful. Think of adjectives that change nouns, right? Think of adjectives that are meaningful, essentially actions, right? Now, I've done this, and I did this with the club that I'm speaking about right now. Give us 3 words. What 3 adjectives, what 3 action words are the most meaningful to us on the field of play when we go and compete? I can guarantee you, or at least I strongly believe, that those action words can be so broad in meaning, we can branch them out into everything. or they can branch out into anything. So let's imagine that the team in front of us, Steve, picked energy, strong and focused. Energy, strong and focused. Now, I think this is really interesting because I think we can start to relate all behaviors towards that, from important high performance behaviors right the way through to well-being protocols and practices, mental health practices, from things around participation to things around learning to things around performance itself. And that could be with energy, strong and focused. Well, how are we going to be focused? What little things are we going to do in training to make sure that we're focused? How are we going to how are we going to help each other be focused? You can go from granular detail through to broader definitions of focus. Strong. Well, strong to an individual can be strong in the air, strong in a challenge, through to mentally strong, through to being strong coming back from injury, being strong with determination in the gym. You know, I think these action words, these adjectives are wonderful ways to break down the kind of granular behaviors that we all want to engage in. And we can have just 3 and build from there. And I think we can start to have great conversations in pods, in pairs, peer-to-peer learning, coaches with players, coaches with the support staff, just around 3 words. I think that's a powerful place to be.